Welcome back to Crafts with Kiki, where you get to be cool and be crafty with me in the chassis. This week we're making these really cool paper flowers out of recycled and found objects. So what you'll need are a couple of toilet paper rolls, some yarn, a stick, some scissors, and a paper bag. So this will be a perfect gift for your mom, your aunt, your grandma, your teacher, your best friend, anyone really that's special in your life. So let's get started. All right, so making these paper flowers. First, what we're gonna do is take one of the toilet paper rolls, and you're gonna just kind of bend them down. So fold them on both sides. We'll start with this one here. So kind of fold it down like this. So it's flat. And then you're basically just gonna cut out some strips. So take your scissors and you're just literally cutting out strips. They don't have to be too wide. You don't want them too wide, but I don't know, I guess you say a 1/4 inch if you're guessing. And they don't all have to be the exact same, but you want it to be consistent. So you're gonna cut out about 8 strips here. Okay, so you have the 8 strips, right? So basically, you can kind of see how this is gonna come together because we're gonna take all of these and these are gonna become sort of the petals of the flower. So we're gonna actually tie these together first with some yarn. Basically, we're gonna use a little bit extra yarn because we're gonna use this later for the center of the flower. So I would say, I don't know, probably a good, oh gosh, maybe 10 inches or something. Just something like that long is perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna show you how to tie these petals together. Okay, so basically you have your 2 petals here and you're going to go up through one side, through the center, and then up through this side on the center. And then you're just doing a simple knot. So basically they're kind of hanging here together. And you just do a simple knot here. Okay, so that's your first one. And then we're gonna just repeat that with the other petals that you cut out. So actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do a double knot. So this will be easy to stay together. Then you go up through one and through the center, under the one that we've already tied, and then up through the next one to the center. And you want to kind of pull these strings through so they're even-ish. You know, you don't want to have one really short because we're going to use that later to make the center of the flower. So again, double knot here. So now we have 4 tied together there. Going to again repeat this with the next 2 strips of toilet paper roll. All right, so nice. Now we have something that's starting to look like a flower. And basically you can kind of see how the back of this has all the ties and the front of this is kind of where it's all looped around. So next we're gonna actually take each of the strings and drop them in the middle of each of the petals that are near them. So they're kind of hanging down like this in the middle. Okay, so now you have your petals with the strings through the side. And the next thing you're gonna do is add the stick. So you're gonna put this flat here. And you'll see all of your ties are coming together here. So we'll pull them out. Perfect. And then take your stick And then this is where you're just, I'm actually going to take this end. So take your stick, you want sort of a flat end up against this. And then basically you're just taking some of these opposite strings and yarn and tying knots, real simple knots here. So do a double knot on each. So see that? And then I'm just kind of taking some that are across from one another on this yarn. So tying here, you're going to tie it pretty tight because the strings, or I'm sorry, you're going to tie it pretty tight so that it holds the flower in place. All right, so this is kind of what it looks like at the back. It's all tied onto the string. And then on the front here, we can actually move these petals around to arrange them the way we'd like. And then now we're going to basically take the strings and go back through each petal. So it's back to the front around with each petal here. Back through here. So repeat that around. All right, so now we have all the back is tied to the string. The front has all of the yarn coming out. So we're going to make this really cool puff. A puff ball out of the yarn. So what you're going to do is make sure that all the yarn, they're all together here. Then you're going to get, I don't know, about this length of yarn. And you're going to tie it around all of these strings. Now, you're going to tie it around all of these pieces of yarn. Now, you're going to want this to be pretty close to the flower petals. So you're going to tie it around here and tie it pretty tight. Again, we'll do a double knot. Okay, and then now you're just going to trim each piece. So we've got this hanging here. All these are tied, and you're going to trim each piece just about 1/2 inch. So about right here, we'll trim all of those. So trim these away. Just want to leave enough to kind of keep it interesting. Add some color here. Great. So to make it look a little bit softer and puffy, you're going to just kind of pull apart the pieces of yarn here to give it that puffy look. So it's almost really cool, like the center of a flower. All right, now we have something that looks pretty cool and interesting. Next thing we're going to do is add a couple petals and then just kind of wrap this around with the yarn. So same thing with the petals. You're going to cut out a couple more of your toilet paper rolls here. We're going to cut this piece of yarn about 12 inches. And then first we're going to tie these two pieces together. Kind of even out the yarn on the top here. So tie it with a double knot. Then we're going to take the strings through each hole here. And you're going to tie it to the stick. So these will be on the top here. This is the front of the flower. You're going to flip it over. And let's do another good double knot here. Now we've got the petals, the center of the flower. The stick is looking like the stem. And we've got these two petals here. Now you can do whatever you'd like with this, but I kind of think it looks pretty if you just wrap it around a little bit here onto the stick. So now we've got a couple of different paper flowers, and our next thing we're going to do is create a little wrapper for these out of the paper bag. Okay? So we're going to take our paper bag, and whatever size you have, we're basically just cutting this. So you're going to take a side of it. I mean, even if this is a large grocery bag or just a lunch bag or whatever size it is, it will work. So basically we're just opening this up. So we're cutting about a 1 foot by 1 foot square. Okay, so you're gonna have your paper bag here. You're gonna wanna have the good side facing down because that will end up facing out. Okay, so we're gonna take these flowers, they're gonna be face up. You're gonna want them above, so this area where the petals are, you're gonna want that above the paper bag, but you're gonna do that at a diagonal, okay? Then you're gonna take this bottom piece, fold it up. Then you're gonna take this piece on the side here, fold it over. Keep twisting this. We'll fix the flower placement in a minute. Then you're gonna take your final string, get a pretty good piece here so we can tie this on pretty good. You might need someone to help you hold down the bag as you're tying it or tie it. I'm just gonna wrap this around a couple times. Okay, and then the final one we'll do a bow. So that will be just a simple bow. Okay, these are looking pretty cool. The paper flowers made of toilet paper rolls, yarn, stick, and the paper bag to kind of finish off the wrap here at the bottom. So I think anybody you give this gift to will love it, whether it's your mom, your grandma, your teacher, your best friend, anybody that you would like to give this gift to. I think it would brighten their day. So thanks for tuning in to Crafty Chassis, where you get to be cool and be crafty with me in the chassis. I'll see you next time.